Welcome to Shavenko CPD and our presentation on the CPD process. In this presentation we are going to show you the CPD process and the reality, meaning the conundrum that we as healthcare professionals put ourselves into without knowing. How you should manage your CPDs, how to confirm your CPDs, and the Shavenko CPD upload process. And then finally, tips and tricks that I can show you. Just a disclaimer. This is not a message from the HPCSA, so you cannot hold them accountable. This is based on a healthcare professional's personal experience, in other words, my experience, on what I have seen other healthcare professionals do, and sometimes what I have done. This will also give you some tips and tricks that I've used to manage my personal CPDs. So let's have a look at the CPD process. The CPD process is clear. The HPCSA said that over a 24-month period or a 2-year period, we need to gather 35 points per year, which if you think about it, will give you 70 points. So it looks like the HPCSA was so kind that they worked in a bit of leverage for us that we only need 60 points to comply. I think this is very considerate of them. Instead of having 70 points every 24 months, we only need 60 points. The reality is that we are all faced with the following. So at this stage I made sure that I only had 60 points. I did all of my CPDs at once and over X amount of months and etc. And suddenly I received an SMS from the HPCSA saying that I'm not compliant. And what's the next thing that we all do? We start raising our eyebrows. We go to our CPD provider, start sending them emails, we start calling them. We are frustrated, we are angry, and all of our emotions just start to increase. What actually happened was that we forgot what we did. We might have complied on the 1st of January, but in February we were already behind with 2 points, because 24 months back we did a CPD activity of 2 points. So in March we were already behind with 20 points, putting us on the minus 22 points. In April this trend continues. Then you receive an SMS. So this is not the CPD provider's fault. In fact, this is our own fault as professionals, not keeping up with our log. And if you're asking yourself, why do I need to manage this? The answer is simple. You always had to. Before this new process, you had to keep a manual log with CPD certificates, and the HPCSA did a random audit. The process has changed so that we don't have a random audit anymore, but that everybody is now being audited. So you still need to manage your own CPDs. So how are you going to manage your CPDs? Well, the best way that I found is to follow the philosophy or the spirit of continuous professional development. This means the first task is to build your CPD points up so that you comply with a minimum of 60 points, and then you do maintenance every month. If you did a CPD activity 24 months back that was 20 CPD points, I need to be mindful that this will expire in a month's time. So I need to find something or have something planned in advance to do this month. This being said, colleagues, it's very important that as a small business or as a small private practice, we need to have meetings with ourselves and we need to understand our training development needs. So you need to ask yourself, what professional development goals do I want? How many CPD points are they and where can I find them? Etc. etc. Please be mindful about Shavenko as well. Every year we do research to understand what are your CPD requirements. Some of the requirements we can do and some of them we can't. I think you need to relate this back to your private practice. Again, you need to do a needs analysis and understand what you want. If you want to do CPD activities and we don't offer them, then please go to the other CPD providers that provide them. Don't decide that you are just going to do CPDs for the sake of CPDs. How to confirm your CPDs. You're going to log into your CPD portal, find service request, click on CPD update request, click here to proceed. You will be directed to all the CPDs that you've done in the past. And remember, you need to manage your CPDs and be on top of your CPDs. How does Shavenko upload CPDs? Well, to start off with, we do this the same as every other CPD provider. All of the CPDs are compiled on an Excel spreadsheet and we send it off to the HPCSA in an email. This is easier said than done. And why am I saying this? We developed our website, and then 2 years later the HPCSA made it compulsory for us to upload the data. So we had to develop a system and method to extract and extrapolate data to make sure that all of the data is there in their specific format. Combined with this, we have found that sending one email once a month to the HPCSA is very generous, especially if we need to follow up on an email. The problem comes into play when we need to follow up on several emails in a month, so both parties get confused as to which email we're referring to. Easy tips and tricks. I found the best thing to do is to make sure that I have a minimum points of 60 points on my CPD blog, and sometimes maybe a bit more, 65, etc. If you did any other relevant CPD training, you can upload this yourself, given this international or local CPDs. In the spirit of CPD, I participated in a CPD activity earlier this year, and the speaker said, "Remember that most parts of my degree or degrees are not relevant today. I need to keep up with the latest trends." So we need to be mindful that research and innovation is constantly changing academia, literature, and university courses. If you did your degree or degrees in the 80s, you can acknowledge that the concept of emotional intelligence was unheard of. Thus, I feel it's fit to close with the famous words of Sir Isaac Newton. We are standing on the shoulder of giants. So remember, new research and innovation are resulting in more giants. Thank you for your time, and I trust this will give you a better understanding on how to manage your CPDs in the future.